Being diagnosed with cancer at, 19 was one of the toughest things I ever had to deal with. But it taught me some valuable lessons. And it made me thankful for my diagnosis. And it's something a lot of people are surprised to hear whenever they ask me about it, when they hear I'm a cancer survivor. And what it taught me were a couple things. I want to kind of give you all that value so you can get it without being diagnosed with cancer. The first thing I always say whenever I'm speaking all across the country is the first night you're diagnosed with cancer, you're in the hospital and you're preparing to go to bed. It's the weirdest night of your life in terms of going to bed, because you start to ask yourself, how many more times am I going to wake up in the morning? You know what I'm saying? You start to ask yourself, what more time do you have? You feel me? And so when you start to ask yourself, how much time you have, you start to really think about how you've been spending your life. And I think once you do that, you start to live your life differently. And so I ain't gonna lie, y'all see I was awkward because I like being by myself, but I be in public. But once I realized the value of life, because I realized I didn't know how many more times I was gonna wake up in the morning, I started to live life differently, because I was looking at my life and I was looking at how I was going about things. And I realized, I'm gonna start this over. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna try to show how I got uncomfortable and somebody walked by and then I started not speaking as fluently. I'm keeping going so it's authentic. So yeah, I don't think I'm perfect. But when you go to sleep for that first night, you start to realize how valuable it is just to wake up in the morning. I think every day we have these problems, we have these things we deal with, we have these things we think are the end of the world when they're really not. And we forget how dope it is that we're alive today. One of the things we don't know about is how many people don't have the opportunity we have, or how many souls, you know what I mean? How many people never became people and wish they would have became people. We don't really know what's up there, right? So it's we don't know how lucky we are. And with that, there's so many people that aren't here today that used to be here, that only got a couple years on earth, or you know what I mean, that lost their lives earlier. And when you start to realize that even if you got $1 billion today, if you don't wake up tomorrow, that $1 billion isn't worth nothing to you. You know what I mean? And so when you start to realize you have access to the greatest currency of all time, and that's the opportunity of time, then you'll stop being so mad at stuff. Whenever something happens to me, it's well, I'm alive. One of the things about the type of cancer I have is that my treatment is essentially a pill every single day. I'll live with cancer for the rest of my life, but my treatment is this pill. And every single day I take that pill and I remember, you're alive, bro. Whatever you're dealing with, you're alive today. And when you start to realize how dope that is, you'll start smiling a little more. You'll start spending time with your mom, your dad, your friends, whoever it may be, your sister, your grandmother. And you start to really take in those moments. I remember I used to just kind of lackadaisically go through life and just be like, oh, that's cool. And then you realize, it's not going to be here all the time. You know what I mean? My other grandparents aren't here no more. How much fun I had with them, Sunday dinners and stuff. And I didn't think it would ever end. I was delusional and thinking, ooh, this is just fun. And maybe I don't want to go over grandmother's house today. No, dude, you don't know how many more Sunday dinners you're going to get. And so first I learned to value life. Second thing I learned was purpose, chasing purpose and trying to help people is cool, but what's the word I'm looking for? Don't overdo it. Don't try to control it. I think a lot of times we chase purpose as if we understand it. You don't know who you're impacting. You could be impacting more people than you think doing the stupid thing that you do than the thing you're intentionally trying to help people with. What do I mean? So maybe you choose a job where you can help people, right? But what if you playing a video game online and streaming it is making way more people's day? We don't understand the fullest picture of our purpose. And so to think we have to, make decisions based off of that is crazy, because we don't really know and we'll never know. And so what's more important to do is to live through your heart, because I think through there is where we become the best version of ourselves. And then our purpose is at its biggest. That's just my opinion. And so you got to do what you love to do. For example, for me, I was chasing all this purpose in my life before my diagnosis. But then after, I was like, bump that, dude. You weren't enjoying all the moments. How many more moments you get? And then I just started doing what I love to do, regardless of the purpose, right? I started speaking. I love to speak. If y'all can't tell, I post every single day on YouTube. I gotta love to speak, right? And what ended up happening was I impacted more people than I can ever imagine. I literally toured the country, speaking at schools, conferences, colleges, all across the country, impacting thousands of students, right? And it would have never been possible if I didn't say, screw helping people, let me help me. And now I help more people than I can ever imagine. So, don't stress the purpose too much, dog. The purpose comes from just you being you. So you just be you. You enjoy being you. You enjoy the things you love to do. And don't let anybody pressure you into doing something you don't enjoy to do. Because if you keep listening to other people about how you should spend your life, you won't be finding yourself living a life for you. You'll be living the life for them. You'll be living their life, not your life. And so I think it's super important. Okay, let's see if I can keep talking while somebody walks by. But if you're constantly listening to other people, if you're constantly letting other people tell you how you should live your life, then you just miss out. And it's not their life. This isn't their responsibility. This is your responsibility. And so I would even take it a step further and say, like, when you're listening to them, I wouldn't even put it all on them. It's your responsibility to do something with what they're saying. It's your responsibility to say no. You know what I mean? I think we don't say no enough. I think we don't, we aren't comfortable enough with confrontation. If somebody wants to talk about my dreams and how they're not possible, or what I do, let's go to battle, or let's not even talk. But I'm not going to just conform to your way of life and avoid the life. Like I like to say, a lot of us miss out on the life we're meant for, listening to people we're not even meant for. And so the cancer diagnosis told me to just screw all of them, bro. Do you? And so I'm thankful for that. What else has cancer taught me? I think it's also taught me that like relationships are so valuable. I think it's something we forget about because, man. Like, I think I heard something on Instagram the other day where it's like, when somebody's on their deathbed, you know, they're not asking for the trophies or achievements, all this stuff. They want to see the people they love. And I think we take the people we love for granted, thinking they'll always be there. But, man, nurture your relationships. Like, oh, my goodness. Not only, like, the relationships because you're thinking, like, oh, we're not going to be, like, death is going to... But sometimes some relationships are in seasons. You feel me? There's some friends that are my friends and we were road dogs, but it's like, we know we never gonna be friends like that again. You know what I mean? We never gonna be like that. Whether it's because, you know, something happened, maybe your boy shot a shot and didn't work, now we not friends like that no more. You know, it's so many things. So really taking the moment because like or even like college for me, like there's certain people I hung out with all the time, but now I live in a different state and they live all the way over there and I see them once a year. And so when I do see them, I'm really taking that moment, you know, really taking those moments. You know what I mean? Don't take them for granted. Really take those deep breaths. You know, life can just, like, bro, I'm 24, about to be 25. I swear I was just 19, bro. I still remember the day I was a freshman year in college, walking around like, dang, bro, we got 3 more years, and then boom, I'm in the real world. But I'm glad cancer allowed me to slow down a little bit and really take it in. You know, I remember the weeks before I was diagnosed, I was having some of the greatest accomplishments of my life. You know, I was on top of the world, and then life, you know what I mean? So never think you're too high for something to bring you back down. But that doesn't mean not to enjoy the high, but just remember, like, everything will come to pass. The good times will come to pass. The bad times will come to pass. The okay times will come to pass. So enjoy all of them. And I also realized that, like, without the lows, you wouldn't appreciate the highs. Like, imagine if you were always in this, like, happy mode. Happy wouldn't be happy anymore. Happy would just be okay. Bar. I'm ending the video on that. If you all want to hear me, oops, I actually press stop recording. But if you want to hear me talk more, follow, subscribe, like. Bye.